Fabian is here from Data Robot. He's going to tell us about AutoML and MLOps. So we all have played in a Jupyter notebook and have learned how to do data science ad hoc and on batch files. But now we talk about continuous production and machine learning over time. So Fabian, we all look forward to hearing what you have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Klaus. And yeah, very welcome from my side as well. Yeah, I will be speaking on continuous AI. And to be very honest with you, this was like, when I first heard about it, kind of a déjà vu for me. Because even though it says data scientist on my slide today, I'm a software engineer by education. And I've been working with customers in the software field for about 10 years. And we have been doing stuff like that with DevOps in the space already. And I was then thinking, hey, can we maybe have the same ideas that we have implemented like 10 years ago in the software space and transfer them to machine learning? And some of that we can do, but some of this we can't. And today's session will be about, what ideas can we leverage, and also how can we use a concept like automated machine learning to make things more automated and continuously better. We're going to start with an idea from physics, because my experience shows on every data science conference there is at least one physicist. Raise of hands, this is going to be interactive. Oh wow, okay, it's not only one. What a surprise. And this is a perpetual motion machine. That kind of machine is one which runs infinitely without you needing to provide any additional energy. And I was thinking, hey, can we achieve something like that with a machine learning model? So having a production machine learning model that always stays accurate all by itself without you needing to provide anything else. Let's stick with that idea for the talk, and I'm going to show you some ideas what we at Data Robot believe can work. One question up front, and this is the last interactive piece, I promise. So how many machine learning models do you have in production today? And we're going to do a quick show of hands. Think of your organization. Who has today more than one model in production? I would have expected a little bit more. Yeah? Don't be shy. Who has more than 10 models? Yeah, more than 10. And more than 50? Yeah, it's also there. I mean, it's growing. And my bottom line is, and I've talked to a lot of customers and prospects, is everybody wants to do more. So you want to go from 1 to 10, you want to go from 10 to 50, and for those who are doing 50, maybe you want to do 200. And you can only do that, I believe, by being standardized and by automating stuff. And that's what I want to talk about. Because DevOps has told us it's possible to do that. So we can do a set of practices intended to reduce the time between committing a change to a system and the change being placed into normal production while ensuring high quality. That was written, I think, 15 years ago. So software engineers have made it. I think machine learning engineers can do it as well. However, what is different? Because if we take a look at these cycles that people paint, and I've been to the MLOps workshop yesterday, there was a quite similar cycle there on the slide as well. That has been there as well. But how is ML different? And I think there are mainly three things, which you see here on the right-hand side. And that is, at the moment especially, the ML development lifecycle is changing so fast. So if you take a look at the maps of the tools and the frameworks coming up, that is crazy. I mean, I think I haven't seen that in software engineering. And then, if you take a look at how fast the changes are occurring, that is also faster. Because in app development, you basically only have code. But in machine learning, you have code plus the data. And that's why the upgrades in machine learning are coming a lot more often, and that's why I think the automation is even more important. Yeah, so how can that work? And yeah, since many of you have a model running in production, I think you can understand the idea of not having something only in a Jupyter notebook, but it's running. So what do you need to do? So one, you need to monitor it, right? So you need to monitor that it is working, it's producing predictions, there are no errors, the responses are delivered in time, etc. But at the same time, and that is like the second aspect that wasn't there in DevOps before, you need to ensure model quality. So that is measuring data drift, concept drift, doing accuracy tracking, and there are a lot of solutions out there which are currently coming up. But hey, that is really new. That's a new field for us, which we need to jointly figure out how to make that work on a large scale. Let's do the easy bit first. So you monitor stuff. Is it broken? You fix it. You deploy a new version, and you do iterate. I think, and that's for these kind of things, we do have version control, we have CI, CD in the space of software engineering, and more or less these things, I think, can be leveraged as is, more or less. However, what do we do about the second part? So, yeah, if we do detect a kind of model quality issue, so there's a problem with my data. The data is completely changing. Maybe I trained on summer and now it's winter. These are the easy bits. But yeah, then I need to provide, I mean, given that the data pipeline is set up, I can retrain the entire model and then deploy the entire thing again. But for these, I need to set up kind of new flows. I need to build that logic which does my retraining. And it might not be as easy as running the notebook again. So that is something to keep in mind. The idea that I want to give to you today, and that is especially because DataRobot as a company, we've been one of the category creators for automated machine learning, is how to train a new model. Because if anyway, this entire stuff is set up in a pipeline, which is working in an automated fashion, so we can pull the entire stuff through, and we can even automatically deploy it, why not also consider a new model? Because in typical scenarios, if you do want to build a new model, you have to get a data scientist involved, the project needs to be revisited, etc., etc. So a lot of manual project work. But when is the right time to do that? And I think with automated machine learning, we can maybe identify that a little bit earlier and already get a first indication that maybe a new version of XGBoost is better than the old one. A new kind of encoder in pre-processing is better than what I run in the existing model. And by pulling these things through the automated pipeline, we basically get an indication and get an automatic information of when to do a change and when to revisit my project. So what is the DataRobot view of the world? Of course, hey, we are an end-to-end platform. So we cover basically everything from the data ingestion through the building of models and then the entire automated machine learning and MLOps space that I was speaking about. But the reason why I am at DataRobot and why I believe that the platform is such a good help to a lot of organizations is because we put flexibility first, especially when it comes to MLOps. Because we know you have your models which you are running today. You might have your pickle files that you have already created. And why throw away something good which is working and where you just want to think about the next step and how to leverage and update these kind of models. Yeah, and there we are happy to get in conversations with all of you, talk about what you have today and also how a next step in terms of automation and continuous AI can look like. I mean, so what? Why do that? And I think the reason is everybody wants to do more, but I think one second reason is you need not to worry about that. You don't want to worry about these kind of continuous integration stuff. You do want to talk about the business, you want to talk about problem definition, about data, and about the business case to your owners. And I'm out of time, but it's also the last slide. We do have a booth, and I will be around as well. If you do want to talk about MLOps, continuous AI, I'm your guy. But if you have other questions, we do have a great team on the booth, and we are happy to be there for any kind of your question. Thank you.
Fabian, thank you so much. Also small gift for your presence here today. Thank you, Fabian.